conversation I've had countless times with pretty much every one of my athletes I've ever coached is how to think, how to feel, how to approach those periods of time where everything's a bit of a struggle. You're having a bad session, you're having a bad week, or even a bad block in some cases. For me, it comes down to three major things, which is just understanding the nature of progressive overload training, then understanding how to make a positive approach to each individual training session, and then how to even get the most out of each individual rep when you're going through these phases. Something that's worth understanding is the fact that strength training is kind of checkpointed. And what that means is that once you demonstrate a new ability, like a new rep PB or a new 1 rep max, that ability is pretty much unlocked. It's checkpointed, it's there. And this means that under the appropriate circumstances, you deload your volume correctly, you'll be able to hit that level of strength again. And hopefully, if you've done your training correctly, a little bit more. What it doesn't mean is that ability is there every single day, every time you go to the gym, or even when you need it. If you think that you've deloaded and you've gotten everything right and you test and it's worse than before, that just gives you information. What have you done wrong? Was it something technical? Was it psychological? Were there external factors in play? Or maybe you just didn't quite anticipate the way your body was going to respond appropriately. Maybe you need to reassess how you approach a deload, do a little bit less, maybe do a little bit more, maybe you're detrained, things like that. What it doesn't mean is that you've gone backwards, that you've gotten weaker, or that your training is just making you worse. Next, you need to understand that training is all about stimulus rather than output. And basically, this is just why the RPE training system has been so effective for so many people. You can't always guarantee the objective numbers like the weight, the reps, or the speed of the bar, but you can always guarantee the stimulus that your body receives. If you're going to the gym to lift heavy weight, lift heavy weight. It doesn't matter if it's 10 kilos less than last week necessarily, because you're still putting the necessary adaptive stress through your body to stimulate growth, strength, you name it. The final point is just how to make a positive psychological approach to every single rep when your training is a bit of a struggle. You might be having one of those sessions where you feel like you've never lifted weights before, you're incompetent, your balance is off, you can't control the bar, but it doesn't matter. Because yes, the stimulus is important, yes, the output is important, but the most important thing is the intent. If you are deliberate and purposeful in your approach to how you control the bar and you're intending to do a better job, that's still going to impact upon the neural pathway, the motor patterning that you're trying to create in terms of developing that skill of the movement. What it doesn't mean is that you're getting worse. Again, we've discussed that. Training is checkpointed, so is technique. This has been shown with bar speed research, where the intent to move the bar fast had better outcomes than actually maximizing the objective output of speed. For me, the same holds true with technique. The caveat to all of this is that the symptoms that I've talked about, the times when you're struggling in training, need to be short term. They can't go on to a chronic long-term degree, because that's just a symptom of overtraining. The old S&C saying goes, you'd rather be a mile undertrained than an inch overtrained. And this is absolutely true. So while you might think that your volume is the best predictor of how strong you're going to be, while that's true, you've got to look at the big picture. If taking a set or a rep off your workout today means that you can train normally and optimally moving on, great. If grinding yourself into dust today means you have to take a month or more of training at some point in the near future, that's not going to improve your overall volume in the big picture. A question to always ask yourself if you really are struggling is the next set, is the next rep going to make you a better lifter? If the only reason, the only justification for carrying on is that you need to meet your volume and that more gains comes from doing more work, that's not adequate. If instead you can say this is an opportunity to right the wrongs of previous sets, it's an opportunity to wire in some of the positive things that you're doing, and you can maybe forget and move past some of the negative aspects of not doing the perfect job, that's good. If it's going to teach you that you can psychologically persevere through the struggle, that's also good. There needs to be nuance here. Sometimes you might get that decision wrong. Always err on the side of caution. Like I said, be a mile undertrained rather than an inch overtrained. And over time, as you move through your career, you gain experience, you're going to become more accurate in terms of making that decision for yourself. My absolute last bit of holistic advice is to be open-minded when it comes to your training. By all means, have the awareness that your preparation has been inadequate and maybe today isn't the best day to hit the big rep PB that you were going for. But sometimes the best training sessions happen under the worst circumstances. When you're sore, you're tired, you're stressed, sometimes something just clicks. If you stay open-minded to that fact, then you won't write off what could otherwise be a transformative session. It only takes one good set to completely transform what can sometimes feel like a wasted month or a really bad block of training into a load of positivity and eventual momentum.